Quiet now. Don't speak. Don't explain. Don't defend. It doesn't matter anymore. They've already decided who you are. They've written your story in their heads, filled it with lies, assumptions, and half-truths they swear are real. And you sat there, silent, letting them twist the narrative, letting them paint you in colors that don't belong to you. And here's the kicker. Your silence was louder than any scream you could have mustered. People love to pretend they want the truth. They act like they're these deep, understanding beings who just want to hear your side. But let's be honest, that's a lie. They don't want your side. They want a villain, someone to blame, someone to point at, to whisper about when the lights go out. It makes them feel safe, makes their empty little lives seem fuller. But here's the irony. You said nothing, yet they heard everything. They twisted your silence into words you never spoke, into crimes you never committed, into intentions you never had. And now you're carrying their version of you like a weight on your back, a ghost of someone you never were. Why? Because deep down, part of you still cares what they think. Part of you still wants to prove them wrong, to show them who you really are. But let me tell you something. You can't convince people who've already made up their minds. You can't wake up those who are pretending to be asleep. The world doesn't run on truth. It runs on perception. And perception? That's just a fancy word for the lies people choose to believe. Look around you. See those people. The ones who judge, the ones who whisper, the ones who turn away when you walk into a room. They don't hate you because of what you did. They hate you because of what they think you did. They hate you because it's easier than admitting they were never paying attention. You ever notice how quiet they get when you stop explaining yourself? That's because they need your words to twist. They need your emotions to manipulate. They need your weakness to feed off. And when you stop giving it to them, oh, they panic, they scramble, they don't know what to do. Because the moment you realize you don't owe them an explanation is the moment you take away their power. But most people can't handle that. They need validation, they need closure, they need someone to look them in the eye and say, I was wrong about you. But when was the last time you heard someone admit they were wrong? That's the game, my friend, and it's rigged. So what's the move? What do you do now? Now that they've decided who you are, now that they've built a version of you in their heads that you'll never be able to destroy, simple. You let them keep it. Let them believe their little stories. Let them whisper. Let them act like they know you. Because while they're busy living in their delusions, you're out here building something real, something they could never touch. That's the difference between you and them. They talk, you move, they assume, you act, they stay in the past, you carve out the future. But to do that, you need to let go of the weight you're carrying, the weight of their words, the weight of their false ideas. You've been holding on to it like a lifeline, but all it's doing is dragging you down. You think if you just hold on long enough, they'll change their minds, that they'll see you for who you really are. But they never will. People don't see reality. They see reflections of themselves. They see what they want to see, what makes sense in their little worlds. And you don't fit. You're too different, too real, too raw. And that scares them. So they'll keep talking, keep twisting, keep building this imaginary version of you in their heads. But none of it matters. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that defines you is what you do next. So tell me, are you going to waste your life trying to fix their version of you? Or are you going to burn it to the ground and build something they can never touch? Because I promise you, the second you stop caring, the The second you let go of their nonsense, that's the second you finally get to live. And trust me, kid, living. That's the one thing they never wanted you to do. They never wanted you to live. They wanted you to exist within their little story, their version of reality, where you're nothing more than a character in the background, a mistake, a lesson, a warning. They didn't see you as a person, just a consequence, something they could use, something they could discard when it no longer suited their narrative. And the funniest part, you let them. You sat there, hands tied behind your back, watching them rewrite your life as if you weren't even in the room. You let them dictate your story, let them decide your worth, let them carve their names into your skin like you were some kind of canvas for their projections. And now look at you, sitting here, broken, silent, wondering where it all went wrong, wondering how you let it get this far, wondering if there's a way back. Let me tell you something, kid. There is no way back. You don't get to undo what's been done. You don't get to rewrite their lies with your truth. You don't get to make them see you. They won't. They never will. Because the world isn't built on truth. It's built on perception, and perception is a parasite. It latches onto weak minds, infects them, makes them believe in illusions so deeply that they'd rather die than admit they were wrong. You could stand in front of them, screaming the truth until your lungs give out, and it wouldn't matter. Because they're not listening, they never were. And that is your greatest weapon. Because if they're not listening, then you're free. Free from their expectations, free from their judgment, free from the weight of their opinions that you've been dragging like a corpse behind you. Do you realize how powerful that makes you? They think ignoring you makes them strong, that silence is some kind of punishment. But what they don't understand is that silence is where real monsters are born. You sat in that darkness. You listened, you watched, you learned. You saw them for what they really are. Shallow, fragile creatures hiding behind loud words and fake smiles, clinging to their illusions like children afraid of the dark. But you're not afraid anymore, are you? Number. You've seen too much, felt too much, lost too much. Fear isn't in your vocabulary anymore. The only thing left inside you is something far worse, something stronger, something darker. A realization that nothing was ever real, that everything you held on to, every friendship, every promise, every word ever spoken, was just noise, meaningless noise. And now, standing here, drowning in the silence they left behind, you finally understand. You were never part of their world. You were never meant to be. You were an intruder, a glitch in their perfect little system. And when they couldn't control you, when they couldn't mold you into what they needed, they erased you. But they made one mistake, one tiny, fatal mistake. They left you alive. And now it's your turn, your move, your game. No more explanations, no more justifications, no more waiting for an apology that will never come. You take everything they threw at you, all the hate, all the doubt, all the betrayal, and you turn it into something they can't ignore. You don't scream, you don't beg, you don't try to make them understand. You show them. With every step forward, every move in silence, every moment they realize you never needed them in the first place, you make them regret ever underestimating you. Because the only thing more terrifying than a man who has nothing to lose is a man who stopped caring whether he wins or loses. That's you now, a force of nature, a storm rolling in. They can smell it in the air, feel it in their bones. They know they made a mistake. They know they should have never pushed you this far. But it's too late now. They had their chance to stand beside you. Now they'll be forced to watch from a distance, unable to stop what's coming. And that is your revenge, not some cheap, petty act of destruction. Number something much worse, something more poetic. You succeed, you thrive, you become something so untouchable, so undeniable, that their words, their lies, their entire perception of you shatters under the weight of reality. And the best part, you do it without ever saying a word. Because they don't deserve your words. They don't deserve your explanations. They lost that right the moment they chose to believe in a version of you that never existed. So let them hear your silence. Let them feel the weight of it. Let it haunt them. Because silence is a weapon. And when used correctly, it cuts deeper than any knife. So tell me, kid, are you done waiting? Are you done hoping? Are you done carrying the burden of people who never cared about you in the first place? Because if you are, if you finally see the truth for what it is, then congratulations, you're free. Free from their illusions, free from their expectations, free from the lie that you ever needed their approval to begin with. And that, my friend, is the punchline. If you're looking for more content on self-growth, healing, and finding strength in difficult times, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. I've got a lot more empowering content coming your way, and I'd love to have you join this amazing community. Take care, and remember, you're irreplaceable. See you in the next video.